So I wanted to make this video real quick. First, good morning to everybody. It's still morning. It's 10:36 a.m. on a Sunday. So I was looking at my expert opinion with Math Hoffa, Mysonne, and I just got to keep it simple. And maybe I could be wrong on this, but Math Hoffa, first of all, I gotta say, he's doing a great job. With his show. And I love the fact that he puts other people on, to be involved, within the circle. But one thing I have to say, because I was watching the show with him and Mysonne, I'm gonna keep it very simple with you. And this is coming from a person, one, Ozzy Oz, involved in Brooklyn, flexing Brooklyn, involved in the entertainment, working, and at the same time I'm involved in entertainment, still working FDNY EMS. But also a person that's involved in the community for over 13 years. Over 13 years. And one thing I'm going to keep it simple. I know you have my expert opinion, but you need to call this segment your opinion. So I can respect that. But one thing I tell people that want to argue, the first thing I ask them, are you involved in the community? And what I mean involved in the community, I mean going to your community board, going to police community council, going to a civic association, just engaging in something simple as that once a month, so you can understand, do you know who your senator is in your area? Do you know who your assembly person, city council person, congress person? Do you know who your borough president is? The names of them. That's how I started off, with a series of those questions. Because you have to understand how politics work. Politics is like the street. So Mysonne is involved. Not only did he do, rap, he's a hip hop artist, but he's definitely involved in the community. So, like people like us, we see what goes on behind the scene. We constantly being advocates in the community. So some of the stuff, first of all, when it comes to Trump, I talked about it so much and wrote about it on Facebook, in the Republican Facebook group. Even candidates that was running locally and people that was trying to say, oh, Trump this, Trump that. And the few things that I talked about that nobody paid attention to besides the migrant situation. And mind you, I'm a Democrat. And I supported Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I was part of his campaign. I was pissed off with him because he branched off. He dropped it, to basically go and run with Trump. I disagree with that because you're in an independent party. So even if you didn't win, you had enough people in the United States, followers, that was there to support you. And a lot of them did and some of them didn't. A lot of them did. They voted for Trump and some of them didn't. But the problem that, the thing about I have with Trump, what I talked about was 1, Social Security, 2, Medicare, 3, civil service, the civil service law, right? These are the things I talked about before, and Project 2025. Like that sums it up, 2025. And what I especially brought up the civil service law because in October 2020, Trump signed an executive order to get rid of civil service law on a federal level, where he wanted to fire 50,000 employees. When Biden got into office, he revoked it. Now, coming back around, Trump is the one. Now at this time, now they all of a sudden pushing the agenda for Project 2025. And they want to get rid of this civil service law, which they called in the past Subject F. So, and then you're dealing with a person that was was convicted, and he's able to run. He has a felony, able to run as president. Whereas if it was somebody like me that's black, wouldn't be able to do that, let alone be able to get a simple job. It'd be a hard time getting a simple job. But he can run the country with that. And everybody make excuses with that. He could say, oh, I don't have anything to do with 2025. That has nothing to do with me. But then he puts in on his team one of the authors of Project 2025. But everyone turns a blind eye. But let me get back to math. What I'm going to tell you, y'all not seeing the, and mind you, let me even go back further. The Democratic Party, I'm a Democrat. I could tell you hands down, a lot of them is weak. That's in position. That's up there on the chain. They need to go. They need to go, because within the Democratic Party you have the moderate and you have the progressive. And the progressive is just far left. They just like left. So I do blame a lot of people in the Democratic Party. So it's on both sides. But with Trump, the message that he's pushing and the agenda that he's pushing, and you can actually see it, but people are still turning a blind eye, especially in the black community. Now, let me tell you something. Me as a Democrat, right? I don't vote on party. I haven't voted on party. I vote on character and policy. I have voted for a Republican or independent candidate. I have as a Democrat. But math, this is one conversation that y'all can't have. A lot of y'all can't have this conversation because there's more that meets the eye that you're not seeing. It's very simple. Because you just look, you could just, I'm not even going to get too deep into it. I'm just going to say that Mysonne, he's breaking it down to you. He's breaking it down to the simplest form, and it is true what he's saying. A lot of things that he's saying is true. I mean, that's about it. I'm not going to get too deep, and y'all be coming up with some wild stuff. I've been reading a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that I had talked about, I wrote about it. Now it's coming to light now. But I need y'all to think about the future. Medicare, Social Security, even the Medicaid. It's going to be a lot of cuts. Education, those that have kids that have an IEP or autistic kids. I just want y'all to pay attention. What's about to come in the future. The cuts that's going to come. Prices is going to be going up. But we're going to see. That's listen, anybody that gets in the office, we just have to see. The good thing about it is even though the Republicans have, we say, the power, right? But think about it. Every 2 years, I mean, right now, coming soon, within the 2 years, that can change. The Democrats, this is why we got to pay attention. Everybody have to pay attention to politics. Now, it's not, oh, we got 4 years. No. Who holds the power and that could protect you is Congress as a whole. The Senate. Congress, Senate as a whole. Because they the ones that create laws. Presidents don't create laws, they enforce it. So we have an opportunity right now to balance power. It all depends on who sits in the seat when it comes to the Senate, Congress. So right now, y'all don't have to argue, to be honest with you. What y'all need to do is focus on your local elected officials and who's going in there and not being in a position. They just want to become a politician because they want to be in power. So you have an opportunity. All this arguing and all that, it's irrelevant right now. What's done is done. Now, what can we do moving forward in the future? Let me see how many of y'all are involved. Let me see if Math is going to be involved in starting inviting guests locally within the community of Brooklyn or New York City, or who's going to be the next mayor, who's going to be the next public advocate, let's see that, mix it up. Anyway, go to watch the show so y'all know what I'm talking about. With him and Mysonne. My expert opinion. It's the show. Ozzy Hype. I'm out. Get ready to go eat at IHOP.